Alright, as you can tell by this title, this video is going to be about um the time I saw a teacher cry in class for the very first time. It's a genuinely harrowing experience to see somebody that you never really would think would have such emotions in such a professional setting, like cry. And I was a I think I was a sophomore in high school. Either it happened earlier this year or I was a sophomore. Um, and what really threw me off is this was the first time I had even conceived of that being a possibility. Like, I just genuinely didn't think teachers did that, and he just gave off. Oh, whatever. He's just bad at the game. It's okay. If he takes, I take. And um, yeah, it was strange. Cause I'm not used to seeing a teacher cry. I don't think that's something anybody's used to, really. Um, how do you conceive of that, right? Because what's going through my mind is just a flurry of emotions, right? I'm not even really thinking right now. And nobody said anything. The entire room was quiet. At most, you'd hear some whispers. But for a solid, it felt like forever, but it was probably around 5 minutes. The entire class just stood still. Just like that. It goes to show people have emotions, even your teachers, and I knew that, but it's one thing to know and another thing to experience it. If this guy wants to take my rook, he can go ahead. I'm probably up in material either way. Okay, I forgot about that. I might have blundered. It's fine. Yeah, and we pre-moved horribly. It just really goes to show though, you never know what's going through someone's head, regardless of if they're doing something right or wrong. Sometimes it is just better to give someone the benefit of the doubt. And the reason I think this teacher fell apart and started crying was just because he was afraid of us disliking him because he was a harsher type of teacher, but he was also young. He probably didn't really know what he was doing either. He was just figuring it out, right? I mean, what else can you do in that situation? He was 28 or so. He's like what, 12 years older than me, so he was barely even old enough to probably get the job. He's probably new for at least a few years. And obviously his teacher was completely fine. That was the only time he had ever done anything like that. But it's really it shook me because I didn't know what to make of it. It was the first time that had ever happened in a while. I just didn't know what to make of it. Literally every single piece he has is just not on a light square, so it's not great. Um, rook, rook. forgot he could do that. He just gave the pawn up. I did that on purpose. Yeah, I mean this is all to say that like people have feelings, you know? And regardless of if he did the right thing or not, which in my opinion I don't think he should have taken that so personally. Like I mean, we're all high school kids here, and our opinion of you doesn't matter too much. And frankly, nobody hated him. He was a good teacher. He pushed you, and sometimes he would yell at you, but you could tell it was for a better reason, so you just wouldn't care. Not as much. And something that struck me was that he said something along the lines of that he put a mask on to school like every day. That shit freaks me out, man. When people say that they're not who you think they are, it freaks me out. And I'm sure he was saying that just in the heat of the moment. I genuinely don't think he meant anything by it. I think he was just having a rough day. Oh my god, this guy's just being a loser. Not nice of me. Uh, it's just a game. See, just like that. It's just a game. And I'm not doing this to win or lose, which is why I put unrated. And I'm sure that's how my teacher felt too. He was just trying his best. Oh, dude, we're gonna be doing this forever, man. But I think he knows if I do that. No, it's not checkmate or anything. I don't know. So. Fuck it, I'm just gonna sacrifice it. I don't care, that's fine. The best part about a chess match is you can never really predict what's gonna happen. And I guess that's true for life too. I would never have thought a teacher could or would cry in a class. But that's okay. And he just sacrificed his rook. Guess that's okay for him too. Yeah, that is his best move. I don't know how to checkmate with a. Fuck! It's okay, it's okay. Just a game. Yeah, I mean, that was my experience seeing a teacher cry for the first time. Shocked, a little overwhelmed, but I did get something out of it. It's that maybe maybe we should just be kind to one another. Bare bones ass thing to, and I'm resigning. I'm not doing this. It's a bare bone thing to get out of it, frankly. But I think if you can understand that, you can become better towards other, more understanding. Because frankly, everybody has flaws. I don't think there's a single person in this world that doesn't have a detriment to them. Like, I mean, let's, for example, someone like Aristotle, someone who you can say is very well recognized as a philosophical genius and somebody who contributed to the greater good, he thought slavery was good. Doesn't sound like a virtuous person to me when you put it like that, right? Someone can contribute and do great things and be a decent person and still do something that puts their character in jeopardy. Great people will always do greatly horrible mistakes. It's just part of it. And I think that's true for a teacher too. A teacher puts a great impact on a bunch of people's lives. My life, your life, probably even his own life, a teacher's helped him. So I think to understand that, and to understand regardless of if it was right or wrong, that ultimately they're trying their best, I think that is better than simply saying he was a bad person. Because I did hear that a lot. That he shouldn't have done that, that was weird of him. And you could argue those things are true, but it was the intent behind those words that made it feel more negative. As if it's an insult. It's not an insult to do the wrong thing. It's an insult to willingly do the wrong thing. That's when you've truly hurt yourself and everybody around you. That teacher has taught me so many great things over the years I've had him. And it's crazy to think that even someone like him is capable of cracking under pressure. Even if it's just once over 2 years, he cracked under pressure. Worse than I ever have. And he still went to class the next day. I mean, I get it's his job. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't really hold that in high regard. It was his job. He gets paid to do this. If he doesn't, then he has other issues. But I still do think that takes courage. No, I'm not taking that. Yeah, I mean, it takes courage to do those type of things. And ooh, he's gonna go there to make me. I'm gonna try this. Not the best move so far. This guy's really on the offensive right now. But yeah, I mean, I think that is something I struggle with a lot personally. It's understanding. Oh my god, he just lost his. It's fine. That too, I really shouldn't care so much about a chess match. Like, I'm just trying to play. I don't know why I do that. That's a bad habit. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think. Oh, that's not good. Well, not just that, but I do think that ultimately we should just try and do the right thing and be understanding of people's mistakes. And that is just a part of human nature. Not to admit that it is a good thing, because it is not a good thing to do the wrong thing. But to admit that that will happen, and that a good person is somebody who can take that mistake, understand they've worsened themselves and the others around them, and still decide to do good. Still decide to just try. Because what else do we have? And that's another thing I've talked to this teacher about. What else do we have that we can guarantee we won't screw up again? Or is at least easiest not to screw up again? trying. And if that's the case, why hold ourselves to the expectation of the action? We should always understand if we know what we're doing, generally speaking, we will make the right action. But most of the time, no one knows what they're doing. I would argue and go so far to say that if you think you know what you're doing, you probably don't know at all, or don't know enough. Because once you know enough of something, you can understand you don't know enough of something. Socrates put it better than I could, but basically, the wisest man in the room is the one that can admit they're ignorant. And try their best anyways to face that absurdity and do the right thing. Like trading off queens. Because it's annoying to play this game of, will I take the queen or will he? That is a hindrance. But anyways, yeah, I mean, this is all to say, like, just try your best. Oh my god, he didn't see me doing that. Ooh, just taken. But, yeah, just try your best, because ultimately that is the easiest thing to do, and the one thing a good person will do and will be capable of doing best. Not to say other virtues are... I just hung it. Not to say that other virtues are necessarily incompatible with human nature. Not to say, like, oh, you're trying to do a right thing and you actually do it. That's not because of you, or at least that's not a good thing. No, it's not a good thing. You shouldn't feel good about that at all. I'm not saying that. That'd be pretty funny if I said, actually. But I am not saying that. I'm just saying trying is the easiest thing for a good person to do. Learning, or trying to learn at least, is... You just hung that. Or trying to learn at least, is the biggest remark of someone who's trying to be a good person, and ultimately that's all we can do. I don't see a world where somebody can truly perfect virtue. That's just not possible in my mind. Because virtue, in its own right, is something that is impossible to calculate. Impossible to know. What makes a person the happiest and the people around them the happiest in the best way possible, nobody can know that for certain. Just like everything in this life. So, try and... I'm sorry, I'm thinking of a position here. So just try and... Just try and do the right thing. And if you fail, don't beat yourself up about it too much, because ultimately that's your life now. That's just what's gonna happen. I don't know why he didn't take that. That would have been a way better move. But yeah, I mean, what truly makes a good person is their intention and effort. Everything else is what expresses that nature in the best way possible. And I think that's really hard to figure out for a lot of people. Because we all want to judge someone solely off of their actions. And that is, to a degree, the right thing to do. I'm not going to sit here and say to you, oh, don't judge someone off their actions, that's stupid. No, you should. You should definitely judge someone off their actions. But you should also know the person. If a murderer who's addicted to cocaine does cocaine, are you really going to say that this is out of character or generally a bad thing? Yeah, you'll say it's bad, but you won't say it's like unexpected. You know what I mean? And does that make them a bad person? Generally, I would say yes. I picked a horrible example out New example, your Subway worker is a little annoyed because their dog is going to the vet and has some issues, so they make your sandwich sloppily. Is making your sandwich sloppily bad? Yeah. But can you at least understand why they did that? Definitely. Finally, he put his rooks back. Oh, I gotta put my rook out. But yeah, I mean, what more can a person do? You know? Besides try. What more can you do besides that? Like, easily do, I mean. Let's go! Yes! 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 Alright. I'm gonna end it there. Basically, try your best. Whether you fail or succeed to do the right thing is not the biggest of issues. It is an issue, obviously a big one, but the biggest one is how you're willing to do it and if you're willing to try to figure it out and do it, because we're all human, and at the end of the day you will suck your entire life at being a good person, so you might as well at least put the one thing that is feasible and easiest for a good person to do, which is to try, and use that as a metric. If you're Are you willing to try and learn? Are you willing to try and do your best in something? Because everything else you're bound to suck at. You're bound to not do too well just based off of your nature as a human being. So learn to live with that and learn to do some good with that. Because just like my teacher, you could either see what he did as weak, insecure, unnecessary, not efficient for teaching, and some of those critiques are fair, or you could see it as a person struggling to do their best but still trying anyways. Yes, what they're doing in and of its own right, the action, crying in the classroom, is not necessarily good or efficient for teaching, therefore not being a good thing to do, but it is understandable. He's 28, man. He probably just got out of college. He doesn't really know what he's doing, right? And he's still basically just a kid. He'll never know I said that, but, he's trying his best, and that's what matters the most to me. Obviously, his actions matter too, but if he's willing to just try, I think he'll get it down much better, and that's what he did. He's never done anything like that again. And this is all to say, you have to understand someone, understand they've done the wrong thing, and still treat them kindly. Still be capable of saying, yes, what they did was wrong, but they didn't mean to, and they regret their action, and ultimately are trying to do better. And that's what matters more. Alright, that's a wrap. See you in the next one.